So welcome again to Excited Play channel. So today we are going to see about some default and keyworded argument in Python functions basically. And I know some of you might have not watched our function video yet. So if not, please go visit that video. So without any further ado, let's start with our functions, keyworded and default arguments. So as you, I will give quite a simple brief about what are functions in Python. So functions are nothing but functions are nothing but the reusable code block. So this is the simple definition of a function. That means a function is nothing but a simple reusable code block that we can use simply n times in our code, and that helps in maintaining our code really well, and also it helps us develop clean codes for our you can say any document. Now, when we are talking about functions, of course, I have given the brief about that. Now, when we are defining a function, actually, what we pass is we pass something like name, age, and class. Let's say name and age also only. Let's say if we are defining a function to check the age of user and say okay, you can say name your age is age. So let's say we are defining such a simple function which will only print this kind of statement after asking us the after asking us this you can say about name and function, and also let's add a simple check. Let's say if age is less than 0, sorry, if age is greater than 0 and age is less than 100, then only print this statement, else say um, please enter valid. Now let's say we have defined a simple function that is going to ask user, or you can say that is going to take two arguments, name and age, and it is going to print a simple statement based on some condition, and the statement is let's say my name is Shubham and my age is 22. So it will just say, okay, Shubham, your age is 22, and that's all. But now let's say for some reason, or you can say for you can say me checking the program, and I write age something like -1, or you can say 102 and 3 4 5, so something else. So this kind of situation will actually going to trigger a simple message, and that is going to say, okay, please enter your valid age. So when we are talking about this function, so for you can say for testing purposes, what we can do is we can just simply call this function, pass the name, let's say and let's say 22, and also what we can do is we can just simply print this statement, or maybe print is not required here because we have included that in our function definition. Now let's say I just write something like this, and maybe like Yeah, or maybe something like this. So as you can see, I am testing this program, but it is showing us error. Why is that? Because I have only passed one argument in it, but it takes two different arguments. So that's why it is showing us error. So why it is showing us error? Because we forgot to pass an name of the user. So why is that? Because I intentionally do that for the testing purposes. So let's say for now I skip this iteration and again try to execute this program. It says now it's this time you forgot to enter the age. So again I am going to skip this iteration and again return this. So as you can see, first it is saying okay your age is this. The next time it is saying please enter the valid age. So what happened in this two what is going to happen to this two test condition? So of course there should be a check, or you can say there should be something like okay if I have not entered my name yet, it should say unknown, uh, and also do that for age. So to add this check, what we are going to pass is we are just going to assign this name variable. Uh, you can say unknown string, and do the similar for age column. Now when I try to run this function, and sorry, we have actually passed this age, use this age in the text. So let's say for 0. So as you can see, when I try to, you can say test this program right now, it is executing. It is not showing any kind of error in our program. So what is happening? What happens right now that previously it is not happening? So to to tell you that there is a something called as you can say default and keyworded arguments in our program. So this type of situation that you are seeing that okay, I have created some arguments for the function. First, it was name and age, and after I am assigning them, or let me just make a copy so that you can also check by your side. I am going to comment this now to show you the exact difference between them. So as you can see, the previous version will is only taking two arguments, name and age. While in the next, you can say version of this program, it is saying, okay, this is also going to take name and age. But if there is a situation where the user, or you can say there is some kind of situation where anyone forgot to type any argument there. So by default, it is going to place that simple argument there in its place and execute the program. Basically, the program execution should not stop, or you can say altered, because the user or someone else forgot to enter some kind of you can say input. For that, we have actually written this program. Now, as you can see, for the first statement, it is executed now, but for the next statement, it is, let's say, I have typed this kind of situation. So as you can see, when I scroll through this function, it shows us the doc string, and in the doc string, it says, okay, the name has a default argument of unknown. So I hope this is clear. Now there is a thing called as keyworded argument. Now, as you can see in the output here, that okay, we have passed the age, then why it is still showing the enter the valid age? That's because the function takes the argument in the similar, you can say, order. Then it is then in the similar order of which it is defined in the function definition. That means the function is going to take the arguments In a series like, okay, the first argument is also is every time is going to be our name argument. So here 22 is treated as name, and age is assigned 0 due to default value. So as you can see, I have written here that after I just only pass this value here as it is not taking 22 as a age, but it is taking as a name. And for the age, it is still the age that we have entered, basically as a default value, and it is returning us this statement, else statement, because of course we have put the check here that age must be greater than 0. So how to basically make sure that okay, 22 should always be the age. So for that we have something called as keyworded argument. So how is that? Let's say for the for the similar function, we type something like age equal to 22. When I try to run this program, as you can see, unknown your age is 22. Now the thing that we try to actually explore, that okay, what if I only enter the age, then what the program should be returning. So in this situation, as you can see, the program is taking unknown as a default argument for default value for name, and taking age from the input and overwriting this age from 0 to 22, and then returning us the correct output for that. So this kind of thing is what they call keyworded, basically argument. So this is what this say. Age is a keyworded argument here. That means keyworded means that we use key as a, you can say, indicator for the value that we are passing. So that's simply what it means. Now that can also be simply done for the program like this. Here, as you can see, here the keyworded argument, or you can say default argument here for age is 0, and the function is taking this as a 0 and it is returning us the value. Now there are some things that you must remember every time. Now let's say if I say something like okay, age. So previously I hope you have seen that when I try to enter 22 directly, it is taking it as an age, it is as a name, because of course we are passing the number, and it is at the first position, so it should go to the name by the function definition that we follow. But when we are passing details like this, name is equal to like this, and again run this program. So right now it is treating everything correctly. And why is that? Because we have given a function an indication that okay, the first thing I am passing is age, and its value is 22, and the second thing I am passing is the name, and its value is Shubham. So this kind of thing is what they say keyworded argument. Basically, we are passing the argument with its key here. Now, there is one thing also called as positional argument. Now, what is positional argument? I will tell you. Let's say if I say 22 and I say name is equal to Shubham. Oh, sorry. Now, as you can see, we got an error. And why is that? Because function is getting multiple values for name. And why is that? Because we are passing a key on, you can say, a direct value to the first index, basically the first type of, basically we are passing 22 in place of the name, and then we are saying okay, the name should be Shubham. So basically the function is getting confused. Okay, what should I treat the name, 22 or Shubham? So that's the situation where we get a type error saying okay, the name argument is getting multiple values. So that means either you pass completely like this example here, or you pass completely like this example. Or maybe one thing also you can do is you can just simply pass 22 here like this, and I will tell you what is going to happen. It is going to throw us another error. Why is that? It says positional argument follows keyworded argument. That means when we are passing any argument such as 22 here as an age, but we are not identifying this 22 as an age. But previously we have seen that okay, name is equal to Shubham, but next we are saying okay, just take 22. I am too lazy to type age here. So that kind of thing actually raised to an error. And why is that? Because we cannot pass a simple, you can say, non-keyworded argument after we pass a keyworded argument. So this is something that you should keep in mind, that we can't pass non-keyworded argument after a keyworded argument. So this is something that you should keep in mind every time while working with this program. So you should every time think that okay, if I am working with a function and I want to pass the parameters in the similar way that I have written here, that means first I am going to pass the name, and then I am going to pass the uh, then I am going to pass the age. So this is something that you should ignore. Why is that? Because as I have written that okay, we should ignore that, and that is all I want to say. But there is also one thing that you can do. Okay, if you want to skip, let's say I am too lazy. Yeah, I'm too lazy to actually type both the keywords here. So for that we can say that okay, I am going to pass Shubham here, and then I'm going to say okay, I will just type age because it has less number of character in it. So that's why when I type this something like this, it is going to happen. It is going to execute the code, because because the difference in the above and the below example is that we are passing a non-keyworded argument first, then we are saying okay, the age should be 22, and that solves the issue here. Because let's say if our function is taking more than two argument here, you will see it more clearly. Let's say for now we create an pseudo you can say argument which is not going to use in the function, let's say person, and we are going to say simply what should we do, true, that okay, the person is true or not, simply. Also there is one more thing to notice, that if I have created this type of, you can say, keyworded arguments, and if I want to then create something like a non-keyworded argument or non-default argument, then it is also going to throw us an error. It is going to say the same thing. So if I try to show you that, sorry, if I try to show you that, you can say the parameter without a default value follows a parameter with the default. So there is the, you get to see the, you can say, the thinking of someone who have created the Python, that okay, we cannot pass the keyworded argument after, sorry, we cannot pass a keyworded argument before a non-keyworded argument, and in the similar way we cannot pass a, you can say, non-default parameter after a default parameter. So this kind of thing is actually help you understand the Python more. Now, as you can see, we have created three different type of you can say arguments. Now this time I want to pass a person variable first. I will say, okay, I will going to pass simply true. It is going to say, oh, right. Sorry, I am going to say person. So as you can see, after I pass the person variable first to the age, it is not throwing us error. Why is that? Because this type of thing, that means the person is equal to true, is going to be, think of it like a dictionary. That person is a key and true is the value to that key. So that is how the parameters are going through the function. So if you think that way, it will help you develop the understanding how the function is actually working. So just to explain here, person, key, and true is equal to value. I am saying that okay, the person and key, person is the key and true is the value for that key, and the how the function, now the input is looking like person and that is true. So this is how this actually going to take this. So for the, you can say, for your understanding, I have created this kind of thing here. So I need to also I need to check that whether it is actually true or it is just my, basically this is just how I understand the things. I try to develop an understanding myself and then try to make sense of it. So yeah, I have actually checked that for your understanding, or you can say for the, you can say just to explain the concept, this is what you can think of while entering the keyworded argument. But I will not say, okay, don't say it in the interviews or anything else. It is just there to explain it. So that's how I basically understand this type of concept. So it's not like you have to read it in like this format. Okay, just keep it simple. Now, so with this we have actually completed the keyworded and default argument. And I will say, I will just simply say the key takeaways that I have actually created. So let me, I have just created the, you can say, key learning from this lecture, and these all. You can see that keyworded arguments are nothing but name-based assignment. And when we're talking about keyworded argument, order doesn't matter. And there is one thing, that positional argument must come first, then keyworded argument. Then we got extra parameter should be actually used in the logic. Now this is a recommendation from my side, because it is just creating an extra, you can say, fluff here, which is not you can say useful to us. So with this note, I will just close the lecture. So let's meet in our next video.